Welcome to our fourth installment of Welcome Home Veterans. And Michael and I are still here in Western Metro West Boston. And today we're going to take some time and we're going to remember boot camp. And what it was like in boot camp, what we saw, what we did, what we thought, how we changed. And in the Army it calls the process soldierization. And so what happens when you take a person, a young man, a young woman, and turn him into a soldier? And we're going to look at that process in depth. And I'm hoping that you've done your homework and you're coming to this video prepared by doing some square breathing and doing your bodywork exercise, and then doing the exercise which you've seen in the past two videos, which I'll do right now, of going down deep and getting to the tree, to the workplace. And, after reviewing the last video, I realized that I left us at the tree. I didn't bring us home, so hopefully that wasn't a problem for you. Maybe you got home on your own. If not, I'm going to welcome you home now. Welcome home. And we're going to start our voyage again. I'm going to ask you to sit down in a comfortable place, and assuming that you've done your meditative homework, I'm going to ask you to be in a room which you know very well. And in the next room there's a closet, and there's a door in that closet which you've seen before. It's not always there, but you're seeing it now. And as you traverse through that door, you begin to descend down some stairs. And you gently go down those stairs. And you notice as you're going down the steps that it's a very familiar place to you, and that you're circling down. It's a circular staircase, and that there's a well-worn area in the middle of that staircase from feet going up and down, and you know that they're your feet that have caused that well-worn groove. Well-worn groove. So you're going down the stairs. And as you're going down, you start to notice that the light changes some. And you realize that there's some water reflecting some sunlight, and that you can see the reflection. And as you go down further, you begin to feel the air change on your face, and you can feel it on your arms and your legs. And you come out into an area where you can see your boat. And so you go and get into your boat and travel down the river. And you gently travel down the river, going down deeper and deeper into your meditation. You notice as you're going down how beautiful the air is, how wonderful the breeze feels on your skin. You're smelling some flowers in the distance. You can hear some wild animals making noises. There are some birds chirping and singing, and there are other things that you notice. And you're meditating and you're noticing these wonderful things around you, and you're happy. As you're going down in your boat, you see off in the distance, you see the tree that you always are going to. You smile to yourself as you paddle your boat, and you pull up into the shore, right where you always pull up. And you get out of your boat very easily, you pull the boat ashore, and you're very happy to be under your tree. And it's throwing beautiful shade, and it's just a wonderful place. And you look over and you notice the spot which you've been sitting in the past few meditations. And you smile and you go over to that spot. And you get into it. And as you're there, you relax. And you know that you've come here to do work. And the work that you've come to do is welcome home work. You are coming home now. And you've got a chance to think about the military as you first saw it as a youth, what it was like for you when you encountered the recruiters, and now you're going to take some time and think about what it was like for you when you left your house. Did the recruiter come pick you up? Did you get dropped off at the MEP station? Did your girlfriend, your father, your mother, how did you get there? Did you take a train, plane, automobile? Where did you go? Where did you go? Think about this for a minute, you know. What was the first thing that happened when you got there? Did you go to a processing station first? So what happened there? And what was training like when you went down the range training? And I want to spend some time thinking about these things. And I'm going to ask you, if you're at home, to pause the video and deeply sit with them and ponder these questions. You might not have thought about them since then, but there are some things here for you to look at, I promise you. And so take some time now, press pause and think about these things. Now for me, when I joined 2 services. I joined the Army and I joined the Navy. When I joined the Army, I went to Fort Benning, Georgia. And it was the middle of the summer, and I remember I got there with about 50 other guys, and we left, I feel like I left Springfield, Mass at like 6 a.m. and got to Fort Benning, Georgia at like 10:30 at night, 11. It was late. I spent all day just doing nothing. Traveling, stopping, traveling, stopping. It was my first experience of hurry up and wait. It was a day of hurrying and waiting, hurrying and waiting. And when I got to boot camp, and we all got together, and I thought it was strange because they brought us all in and they fed us food. And there's a drill sergeant sitting there making hamburgers for us. And one thing about the Army, it was different. And I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I know for sure that they were using saltpeter. Because not one of us guys that were there, 19-year-old, 18-year-old guys, none of us had an erection all summer. So for sure, they were using saltpeter. And, you know, it was just what it was. It's what happened to me. So I thought it was strange that they were feeding us the first night. And as I reflected back, I've done this exercise before. I got some of that bitter fruit out of it. And we started our P days. P days was in the Navy. But both services, we did this thing where we had to walk down, like the first day there. We got haircuts, and then after that we walked like to this medical center, and there were people standing there with guns, with shotguns. Guns that give shots, not shotguns. Air guns. And you walk down to this thing, and they put the air gun on you. We got about 10 shots in about 45 seconds. Just walking down this thing. And one of the guys that was there had a reaction to him. Had a reaction to the shot. He fell down and we never saw him again. He went to medical. But we did hear that they had to give him every shot again to see which one he reacted to. So we lost one of our members in training right away, the first day. Getting a haircut was not a big deal at all. I've had short hair before. A lot of the guys had problems not smoking cigarettes. And I was a non-smoker in those days, so it didn't bother me at all. People were griping about it and wanting a cigarette. And I was surprised when we got a 3-day pass later. 5 weeks later that first thing they did was went and smoked cigarettes. I'm like, what are you doing here? You've been quit for this long, and you're going to quit smoke again. But I realized when I got out to active duty, and after I was in active duty for, I don't know, I was in A school, and I started smoking cigarettes in A school. So that's, I went through boot camp without jonesing, but as soon as I got out of boot camp, everyone else was smoking, and they said, if you want to take a break, go smoke a cigarette. You can go do that. If not, sit here. So everyone was going to have a break, and I was sitting there with a couple other guys. So I started going along and having cigarettes, and pretty soon I was a smoker. One thing that happened in boot camp too, in the Army, I remember going in, and when I left the Army, I wanted to fight. I really did. And I remember the boot camp songs, the cadences were so, they were so violent and disgusting. The words of them, and also the training, the soldierization, where I went from being a kid to someone that wanted to kill. And I did want to kill. I thought about it. And when the cadence, you know, in those days President Bush was president, and when the cadence said, "Please, Mr. Bush, send me to anywhere, you know, to fight for my country, to fight for democracy, to fight for freedom, to fight for what's right, you see," I wanted to go, and I wanted to kill. I did. Soldierization worked well on me, and what the process is what soldierization does is that it uses what's called operant conditioning, where it rewards and punishes based on behavior. And another term for it is brainwashing. I was brainwashed. I was changed on a fundamental level. Who I was not the same person. And anybody that's been in the military says, "Oh, I was never in combat. Nothing happened to me." Anybody that took military training and graduated boot camp has had psychological injury. And so I just want to let you know that you've had psychological injury. You have been manipulated and prodded and changed. You have been. I have been. We all have been. And I'm here today to help you come home and to let you know that you can change yourself back. And this video series is meant to do that. Help you to become your own person again. And so I want you to remember one thing in particular, anybody that was in the Army, the bayonet training. And the bayonet training was very specific. Fixed bayonets and chanting out, you know, what makes the grass grow green? Blood, 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 cut with hard, cold steel. Ooh. You couldn't get out of that bayonet course unless they saw in your eyes that you wanted to kill. And that's what they were looking for. And if they didn't see it, they meant you went through again. In the Georgia heat. That was the day that broke me. I can remember it. So here I am under the tree, remembering my own boot camp stories. I'm going to ask you to remember some of your boot camp stories and to pause the video right here. And after we're done thinking about our boot camp, some of our boot camp stories, and we're going to remember we're under the tree, and we're going to get up from under the tree and go back into our boat, and we're going to paddle our boat up the stream. There's a lot more work to come back, and as we're working harder, we're coming up out of the meditation. And after some time we come back to the dock and we stow our boat, and we come up the steps, and as we're coming up the steps we know we're leaving our meditation and we're coming back to the world. And then we come back to the room, we're back to ourselves, and I want to thank you for watching this 4th installment of the video. And I want to ask you, if you are getting anything from this video, you'll notice the little thing. It's a place where you can send contributions. Please send a little something to 32 Lunt Drive, Greenfield, Mass. For Warrior Writers. Excuse me. For Warrior Writers is another group I'm part of. Veteran friends. veteran friends, please send it to Veteran Friends, 32 Lunt Drive, Greenfield, Mass.